Complying with what scientists demand could be political suicide for leaders. Scientists are calling for a sharp reduction in carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that raise the Earth's temperature, ranging between 50% and 80%. This would, at the very least, require a drastic reduction in the use of cars and most aspects of modern life. So, would any political leader dare to impose such measures? Researchers at NASA say, we must stop using these gases and chemicals immediately. However, the Bush administration and several other European countries only want to reduce some of these chemicals by half, and not until the end of this century, in any case. A new study states that even if the destructive gases were banned worldwide by the year 2000, which is highly unlikely, let alone now in 2007, their levels would still harm the ozone layer until 2070. Additionally, the environmental risks will continue due to the expected growth in the world's population, which is projected to rise from 5 billion to 8.5 billion by 2007-2025. Thus, the environmental crisis is a ticking time bomb that could explode in the not-too-distant future, threatening the entire world, both rich and poor countries alike, with the dangers of this explosion. The warning about environmental risks is not new. 20 years ago, scientists began warning about the destructive effects of acid rain, deforestation, and toxic waste and gases. Scientists say we are now in the countdown to disaster, with 50% of the damage already occurring over the past 3 decades. In the near future, 40 countries will face water shortages. The opening of Eastern Europe after the fall of communism revealed an astonishing level of environmental pollution that no one had imagined. The rivers are poisoned, the air is polluted by factory smokestacks, and the forests have been killed by acid rain. Western Europe is also facing an environmental crisis, particularly in the tourist areas of the Alps, due to acid rain and nuclear contamination from Chernobyl. In Britain, there is a high level of pollution from the 1,900 factories on its land. One of these factories emits 8 tons of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere daily, which is 10 times the permissible limit. According to these reports, Africa is no longer suitable for life due to pollution and drought, with 50 million people living on desertified land facing the threat of famine every year. Drought in Africa is spreading at a rate of 2.3 million square meters annually. A report issued by the Supreme Soviet Council states that 1 in every 5 people in the Soviet Union breathes air containing dangerous levels of chemicals, 10 times higher than the maximum allowed. Additionally, 600 Soviet cities have advised their citizens to drink bottled water. Even in the United States, there are 100 cities where smoke levels in the air exceed permissible limits, increasing the risk of cancer. Economically and politically, the United States faced a major drought crisis 2 years ago that cost it half of its wheat production. America's surplus of grains, which is a cornerstone of its strength, could be wiped out by annual summer droughts. In Brazil, millions of acres of the famous Amazon rainforest, which acts as the lungs of the earth, have burned. With the ongoing disasters of the Soviet Chernobyl, the Bhopal incident in India, and the massive oil pollution from Alaska, the environmental problem has worsened globally. Thousands of environmental groups and green parties have become active everywhere, with some even reaching parliament and gaining significant political influence. These green groups are involved in tree planting, garbage collection, and raising awareness about the need for international cooperation for the environment. Nearly 10 years ago, biotechnology was born, encompassing various techniques, some of which are now used commercially on a large scale, such as tissue culture. Through this method, an infinite number of plants with the same desired genetic traits can be produced. This technique is commonly used in producing strawberries, potatoes, bananas, and other crops. It also covers a broader field known as genetic engineering, through which the genetic makeup of living cells in plants and animals can be modified. This has led to the development of high-yield and high-quality varieties resistant to certain diseases by transferring genes carrying desirable traits from one species to another. This has a significant impact on increasing production while reducing production costs by minimizing the use of pesticides and preserving the environment from pollution. Moreover, these modern genes can produce drought-resistant varieties, saving significant amounts of irrigation water and enabling the cultivation of crops under highly dry and low rainfall conditions.